That's funny. Okay. What can do for you? Total mistype on the heading of this live feed. Always good. Always good, Callum. Excellent. Okay. Everything's shown live. So, very quick live video. Just thought I'd pop on, let everyone know I'm alive. For those that are observant, I have completely messed up the title of my own video. I'll need to go and edit that after. Um, so basically, I've been doing a lot of work lately, trying to get stuff done. Cassie, hello, how are you? Have I slept? Well, last night I did, yeah. Why? What, do I not look like I've slept? Oh God, do I look rough? Do I look like, oh, yeah, yeah, that's what I was just saying. I totally just looked at the title. I must have typed it and just my keyboard can be precarious in this laptop. And I was just looking at it going, what can do for you? What it's supposed to say is, what can I do for you? Um, yeah, and there's nothing worse than doing a title and getting it wrong for a video. So I'll go back and edit that in a minute or two. Actually, I could probably do it now. Wait a minute. I'm sure I could do this. Ah, wait, whoa. The wonders of technology. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this, folks. Awesome. It's going to change any minute. Um, just need to learn how to type again. Yeah, okay. Let's see if that works. So apparently I can't do it on YouTube, but I did it here. Okay, what can it's done in the wrong order. What the heck is going on with this system? Or what's going on with me tonight? What can see, I was supposed to be there. Oh man, I must have totally hit a tab button or something. I maybe Cassie, I haven't slept. Maybe I'm just not with it at all at the moment. My brain is I will be honest, I'm a little befuddled. I have been for the last couple of days trying desperately to think about what I'm going to do here. Obviously, I've mentioned this a few times in videos. You know, life is pretty weird. I'm foreseeing for the rest of this year, it's going to be up and down. You know, there's a lot of reports out there saying it could be, you know, as awful as it sounds, normality might not come back for a couple of years. And certainly that's not saying every industry, but certainly the performance industry, that could be a real reality because, you know, social distancing until things are sorted and the world kind of gets back together, it's going to throw out a lot of performances quite hugely for a long time. So I've been working away this week. I've had a lot of messages and people saying, "Hey, Callum, could you try and schedule when you're doing things?" And as you can tell, I didn't schedule this one. But I get a lot of people asking, you know, if I could schedule, if I could um, kind of put out a program. Ooh, need to put a pop filter on this mic. I think it's got a wee bit sensitive. If I could put out a program of events so that people have got time to see them. So I've been desperately trying to think about that and trying to think about like setting up programming for my channels, mainly for myself, like to keep myself busy and working on what I love, but also to kind of make you guys aware, you know, anyone who's interested in joining me for an event or watching me do some stories or whatever, so they know when it's happening. So I've been working on that kind of for the last few days, and I'm not having much joy because the problem is the squirrel effect that I have. I have an idea, and then a squirrel appears with a banner, and he's got another idea. And then at this side, like, I don't know, something else, like a raven appears, and she's got like a banner with another idea. And all of a sudden, I'm like all over the place. You know, it's like jingle, jingle keys. I'm easily distracted. So when I come up with one idea, or one sort of thought process for what I want to do on my channels, all of a sudden it escalates and it just explodes, and then it's like an avalanche, all just crashing downhill at ridiculous rates, just steamrolling everything in its way. And then at the bottom of that hill, when everything's settled, I'm just kind of lying there in a crumpled, broken mess, forgetting what I actually started out to do. So this is kind of where I am at the moment. I'm trying to really come up with some good sort of stuff. Now I just need to check something, because I remember seeing a post, and I want to make sure that I don't know if maybe people aren't making comments tonight anyway, but I remember my StreamYard saying it wasn't receiving comments. So I'm just going to double check in case people are commenting and I am not seeing it. I'm just making sure, because I hate missing if anyone's made a comment. I see Cassie's made a comment, but just in case anyone was making comments, I hate missing it, because I feel that's incredibly rude. So, as I say, the avalanche effect and just everything going crazy when I try to kind of come up with ideas. It's a common thing with me. I just get overexcited. I do have a lot of passion for what I do. So I am scheduling. I promise you this, guys. I'm trying to schedule. I've got a few ideas. I would like to try and do maybe a younger audience story session in the mornings. I'd like to do my normal story session. Hey, Elizabeth. Thank you very much. I'd like to do my kind of normal story sessions at some point during the days as well. What else? Oh my goodness, I'm just having a completely blank head now. I had loads of ideas. One moment, I'm going to have to check. I'm sure I put a post out about this somewhere. And in that post, there was lots of good ideas. Because a couple of people responded. Family. Right, okay, here we go. Yeah, I found my own post. This is how... what a stramash my brain is becoming over this week trying to do stuff. So yeah, I want to do a younger story session, my normal session, which would effectively be me trying to do stories like one or two, just in a short kind of time. I really want to get back into my Social Distant Fest, which is this amazing event. I've spoken about it a few times. If you haven't been on the Socially Distant Fest, please log on. A lot of musicians. That's the one thing I'm now getting a lot of feedback. I think there's myself and two other performers who are not musical acts. So that's, I think, what if you call that a negative. I don't want to call that a negative because that sounds awful, but if you're looking for variety, sadly they're desperate for great acts, but they're just getting beautiful and wonderful musicians. I also thought about doing a general chat kind of idea, because I kind of like just sometimes coming on and having a chat with you guys and seeing what's happening. Mainly just almost like a health check-in for us all, just make sure everyone's doing okay, and if anyone wants to say anything. So I'm reading my own post. This is what's really funny about my brain today. I've got about 4 people lined up for this. I need to actually get in touch with them and organize it. But a live kind of chat session with somebody on screen with me, because this wonderful StreamYard facility. Hey, Kat, hello. Oh, Facebook is a good 30 seconds behind. Yeah, that is the downside, Cassandra. There is wait a minute. Did you just change your name, or am I confused? Is Cassie? Wait a minute. I'm trying to think of the people I know now. Yes, there is a good... I'm really confused. I've got Cassie Mack and Cassandra McLean, and that's funny. Kat, lovely, nice to see you as well. I was actually looking at I'm on both. You cheeky monkey, Cassie. You had me totally having a moment. Kat, I was actually having a wee look at your YouTube channel tonight. It's looking fabulous. Oh no, I don't drink anymore, Kat. That's the thing. I'm completely allergic to alcohol these days, so I can't really drink much at all, or my throat seizes up on me and weird stuff. So I just decided it's better safe than sorry. But yes, I've got this StreamYard gives me this option to have somebody here, not physically in the studio because of we're not allowed to do that, but it means someone can live stream into me. And I just kind of want to open that up to anyone. Doesn't matter if you do anything performance wise or not. I just think it'd be nice just to have a different voice on here every so often. Um, what else was there? The book readings that I do need to get back into, because I started chapter 1 of Jekyll and Hyde and then was so annoyed at myself that it was so poor, haven't got back to it. But the other one I am going to try and do is almost a call-in thing. I used to love the old call-in chat shows, where people would call in and literally they would just ask a question or something about anything and the host would need to kind of answer it. And I love the awkwardness of that, because I think that would be quite fun, literally having people randomly call in and effectively ask me anything. And as long as it's clean and polite enough, I know I'm going to get some, if I like, because my phone number's out to the world anyway as a performer. And I know I'm probably going to get a couple of trolley type people, but I can deal with that. But of course, if I do decide to do that format, I'll be avoiding certain topics that are just, I'm not going to deal with certain topics because people will just try and be idiots. And I refuse to deal with that sort of person when it's a bit of fun and entertainment. However, love line. Oh my god! Guys, can you honestly see me giving now, Chris? I don't know if you're meaning the dirty talk type line or if you're meaning a relationship. God, I could basically be giving relationship suggestions, not suggestions, help. Yeah, I could do that. It could be like Calum Lykan's love line. Help with your relationship. Oh man, that'd be so funny because I am crap at that stuff, my wife will tell you I am oblivious to anybody flirting with me or anything like that. It's like Vomv. She used to come to my shows and she would take great pleasure occasionally when, like, maybe some of the audience members, obviously I'm in a kill, I've just done a whole show, and they would come up and try and talk to me. And that's how I felt it was. And apparently they were flirting quite heavily with me and I was oblivious. And Krista used to just laugh at that. But one of the things that I do want to do is, because I have been obviously doing a lot of research with a lot of the stuff I do, and I realized that as much as I hate to admit it, I am reasonably skilled and knowledgeable in what I do. So part of me is thinking, and I don't know if any of the people who actually, Dr. Drew and Adam, oh my goodness, right, okay. I didn't know that, Chris. But however, I like this idea. I might just have to do something similar, I can give relationship advice. I probably have a lot of very angry people at my door at some point, but I can give relationship advice. But I was thinking about doing some, I don't know, courses, YouTube kind of tutorials, because I do kind of know what I do and I've studied it and I've done an apprenticeship and I've been at this for years and I've researched and I've helped businesses. I've kind of got this weird broad skill base within my storytelling bracket. And I don't know, the reason I'm asking you guys is because I kind of, as a storyteller, I have this weird thing about there's no point doing stuff that an audience doesn't want to hear or participate in. And as you know, guys, I've done that in my shows in the past. I've literally gone in with no script, no set list, and asked the audience to give me suggestions or ask a question. And it pretty much leads, I've created a whole hour and 15-minute show out of my audience, giving me story suggestions like themes or emotions or asking a question which leads to a story. Hi, Cindy, lovely to see you. So a part of me is kind of wondering, is there any value in that? Because at the end of the day, guys, it's like, is there value? Are there people out there within this community and or beyond that you guys think would actually benefit from things like storytelling skills or things like even social skills? Because my goodness, that's a big thing these days. So at the moment, this is kind of what I'm doing. I'm trying to develop courses and workshops and look at a whole broad range of programming for my audience because at the end of the day, it's kind of like I'm going to be. I'm going to be kind of stuck in this studio probably for about 4 or 5 months still to come. Maybe, where are we? May, June, July, August, September. Well, maybe 4 months, depending how things go. So, this is the reason I'm doing this very short video. It should be short, but it's probably rolled on to 20 minutes because it's me. But yeah, the idea is I'm I'm thinking about setting up some courses and workshops and development things, and I kind of wanted to know and get a general feeling from people what actually I can do for you. I have adjusted the title. What can I do for you? It was what can do for you, which is effectively what I need is typing lessons. Uh, that's good, Liam. I was actually going to ask you. Yes, the 1/3 drop in the thing, the exposure, has definitely made all the difference. Waffling on and such. Yes, I could do a massive master class on waffling, Chris. It is one of my superpowers. I am effectively like a superhero of the waffle, but it's a Scottish thing. I think we like to, as my wife says, if it can be said in 5 words, I will say it in 50. I have this amazing ability to literally go round the houses when I'm just trying to get a very succinct point. Ergo, this video, because this should have been a very succinct professional video, very straightforward. And we're now 20 minutes in, and I've kind of vaguely gone round the circles to what this video was about. And that's the beauty of me. It's one of those things. I was watching one of those. Okay, so the reason that this also comes to mind is I always watch these webinars. These guys put on the webinars. Potentially some of you have watched them, how to do this and, learn this skill. So I always, register if it sounds interesting, give it a watch. And I'm a great believer that, you're maybe going to glean a couple of percentage of useful information out of it before they start doing their sales pitch. But I was just watching one tonight, and it was about YouTube videos and how to increase your subscribers and developing good material, which is why this kind of thought process went through my head. But what I found really funny is here's this guy saying, I've got a 1.8 million subscribers and I make almost 90,000 a year. And when he's doing his presentation, he's doing it like this. And I want to sell you my product, but I'm very sure you want to buy it. It is the best and this is what you're listening to. And I just sit there and wonder, it's like, I might waffle, but my God, I can at least speak. I feel that when I talk to people, most people are, at least, even if they're not necessarily engaged, they laugh at the simple fact that, God, this guy can just talk, and he can talk and talk and he doesn't stop. And, I don't mind that. Oh, no. Yes, Kat, it's something to do with us podcasters. Oh, and that's another thing I need to do, podcasts. My goodness. So my podcast, if anyone, someone was asking me this the other day as well, the Bothy storytelling podcast that I had was really interesting. I enjoyed it, but it totally lost its way. So I came up with another idea called It's All in the Kilt, which was effectively taken from my stage show, which I've mentioned a wee bit earlier about just getting the audience to ask me questions and creating a show from it. Because I thought, well, hey, let's just do that as a podcast, because let the audience suggest the episode themes. However, when I recorded something like 4 months of it. Kid you not, I recorded 4 months backlog, audio and video. I was going to put this simultaneously onto the podcasting and YouTube. And when I sat back and started to edit and watch it, I was like, this is rubbish. This is so unprofessional, and so it just... Oh man, the problem is I go to too many things and I start getting conflicted with branding and how they say branding should be everything you put out, your brand needs to kind of emulate it. It needs to be professional, and you can damage your brand by doing this. And I had oh, what was it? Somebody emailed me a while back. I'm not going to mention names or anything because probably no one will know him. But I got abuse through this email, and I deleted it. I was going to respond in my Scottish way and delete it, basically telling me I'd done something, a couple of things, and I got told that basically what I was doing. I think it was my Facebook Live, and I got told by this guy, "You're damaging your brand. This is ridiculous." And it really got to me. Oh, thank you, Liam. That's lovely. But yeah, this branding thing got to me. So when I looked at, the it's all Nickel, I was like, no, no, this isn't good. This isn't professional enough. This is gonna damage you. And I think I mentioned this once before. It was my wife actually came when I was talking to her about this because I obviously spoke to my wife about this email and I was furious. And I gave her the whole response. I painted it a massive picture of what I was going to respond. I basically went into a Scottish rant. And for anybody that's heard me do one of my Scottish rants, you know exactly what it's like. But then times it by 10 with a lot more swearing. That was going to be my response to this chap. And she actually calmed me down and said, "Don't be silly. You're just escalate it." And let's be honest, this guy's an idiot. Just, he doesn't know you. He's one of these guys that just thinks he knows branding. And I always think that's really funny because there's so many people that do branding now out there. And there are some really good guys. One of my good friends is amazing at branding. But there's a lot of wannabe branders out there that think all this. I speak of the devil. Jigs, Crivens. That was the scariest thing I have ever seen in my life. Sorry, folks. I just had a moment as I look down at my screen and see a comment from the person I'm just talking about without mentioning names. That is pretty damn awesome. Yes, one of my good friends is amazing at branding. So I had this whole kind of thing and actually I was going to speak to him about this as well because I wanted his point of view. And my wife just kind of clamped it down and said, "Don't be stupid, delete it, blah, blah, blah." And then it dawned on me. She said something that was so beautiful and it kind of, and it's something actually Liam's kind of made a comment and alluded to it, which is kind of weird. She actually kind of turned around and said, "But being you and just being happy and energetic and being fun and passionate about what you do is my brand." And I think Michael said a similar thing to me as well. It's like there's certain companies their brand has to be more specific, but I've actually come to this conclusion that my brand is just happy. That's it. Unless I'm being miserable. But when I'm doing what I love, my whole thing is just about being happy. It's just about putting out that happiness and energy and love into the world. So that is actually my branding statement that I'm creating. And I came up with this beautiful phrase, or somebody did, and it's like to counter all these weird things that people talk about. Your brand's got to be this and this and this, and you've got to do this. And you know, for a lot of businesses that works, but for me, it's kind of like my whole statement is, but what if your brand is happy? Simply, what if your brand is just happy? It's like, there's no way to really, well, actually, I must I'll have to actually email and say, is there a way to market such a thing? Right, Chris, that's really cool. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. My brand might not be. I've become to realize I might not be the most professional guy in the world. In what is called classed as the stereotypical kind of professional values, but then I've got a lot of friends that are here that do things in the most outrageous and fun and artistic ways. My friends Drop Bear and Panda, who do an amazing podcast and amazing videos, like their whole thing is basically about having fun and putting out energy and love and creating weird and wonderful things and working with strange people. And they worked with me as a strange person and helped me create my first ever storytelling CD. And it's like their brand is not like my terminology is gone as well tonight, but their brand's not like what you would call this uber professional. And this is the problem when people are talking about branding a lot of the time. They go into this weird professional mode and they forget that when it comes to the arts and the entertainment and the fun industries, it's a wee bit different. However, Michael is a genius at this sort of stuff, so he actually balances. He's the only workshop I've ever done, and I'm going to put a plug on here for my good friend. If you're ever looking for a kind of branding and marketing workshop, look up MDK Inc. Gosh, I've MDNA, something like that. But you know what? Just look up Brand Jitsu, because he blows it out of the water, and particularly if you're more into the artistic side of things, if you're a performer or you're something like that, because he's actually created this package which encompasses all avenues. And it's the one and only time I've gone to any of these workshops and done something like this where I've actually fully walked away going, that benefits me. Because most thanks, Michael, don't laugh at me. But basically, yeah, I'm not complimenting him for compliment's sake. He actually deserves this. He created a workshop you could be the biggest corporate, or you could literally be a guy who shovels snow, or you could be a storyteller. I'm kind of going down and this marketing and branding kind of workshop he's got actually encompasses it all. So it's absolutely fantastic. And it's one thing I will compliment him on, because as I say, I've done loads of them. I've gone to some of these big entrepreneur days, and I've gone to a lot of these kind of like, we can make you money seminars, and all they are is just pitches for these guys telling you how fabulous they are, and then trying to sell you a course to be them. And the last thing anybody needs to be is them. You need to be yourself. However, 30 minutes in and I've now gone round in circles again. Oh, Chelsea, thank you, Mike. I still can't believe that as I'm talking about the guy, he pops on. It's like he must have started itching somewhere. That Scotsman's talking about me. Oh, what's he saying? But anyway, folks, yeah. So what I'm saying for this is I'm actually asking, what can I actually do for you guys? What content can I put out? I appreciate a lot of people might be going back to work, but I do get the feeling that theatres and kind of those types of performance spaces will be shut for a long time to come. And a lot of waffle power. Chris, stop talking about my waffling. I love my waffling. But yeah, so basically, like all the festivals, the fringes, everything's shut down. I'm looking at September. A lot of guys I heard in BC, they've shut down a lot of things until October. So what can I put out that will actually be entertaining? And is there any how-to or help videos that I can put out that, about storytelling or something that I can help you with that would maybe be worthwhile for you? Oh, I like that one, Elaine. That's funny. Yes. Yes, thank you, Liam. I was hoping he would toot his own horn, but he's such a bashful man. There you go. Liam's put down the link for my friend Michael, who does some amazing work. Make more creative. Why did I think it was something else? He's got multiple things that he does. I know he's just a man. He's probably sitting at home right now. It's 29 minutes past 10, and he's probably working really hard. He's probably like editing videos or working on some master plan for world domination, which involves small cuddly marsupials. It's and things like that, So basically he's a bit of a powerhouse. But thank you, Liam, for putting that up there. So yeah, guys, one of the things that I am going to try and do is do a phone-in thing. I think that would be quite funny. And actually, I'm wondering if anyone knows my number, try phoning me now. I will warn you, you would go live on this live stream. But if you have my number, just to test, see how this works, if anyone's brave enough, give it a call, because I'd be interested to see if this is going to work or if it doesn't, because I've had a few problems with it, with the mixer and all that, because the system, things are beeping somewhere. What's beeping? oh, oh, sorry, I've just had an image of the most industrious man on the planet sent to me. Nice socks, by the way, Dargy. Nice socks. But yeah, if anyone's brave, if not, don't worry. I'm still trying to get used to this, but I'm trying to do this. I just, I love, I'm a weird guy. I love those live phone in things like the radio did and all that, where people would just phone and ask a question or talk for a couple of minutes. And I always thought they were funny. And these are the sort of things that I want to do, mindlessly delightful and challenging things. That's what my life is now all about in this tiny little studio, which, oh my gosh, it's getting warm in here. I expel far too much energy when I do these things, and all of a sudden this place turns into a furnace. So anyway, where was I? Marsupials, industrial people, people trying to sell you stuff, stories. Yes, me. Okay, let's get back to me, which is an easy subject. So the reality is, folks, after 33 minutes, the question I want to ask is, what sort of content do you want to see? I am going to try and get a new podcast developed. I am going to do a guest interview thing because of this new kind of software I've got where somebody can live stream in beside me and we can have a chat. I am going to do more storytelling sessions and a big kind of weekly or every 2 week one. But there must be more I can do because a bored Calum is a dangerous Calum. When I kind of get really bored, I start doing silly things and weird things happen. One example is I once got ordained as a weird American minister when I was in Scotland to give weddings because it was a really quiet day in the shop. And I happened to see this and just thought, well, that sounds funny. So I registered and actually got ordained as a minister. That has now expired, thankfully. So please don't ask me to marry you. But it's that's the sort of thing that happens when I get bored. I end up doing weird things. Like technically I'm a laird in Scotland because I did one of those stupid send off and pay for a plot of land. Again, I was bored. I thought I would see how it worked out. So what I need from you lovely audience, you fantastic people, is to actually throw me some suggestions of kind of stuff that you as an audience would like to see. Because I could pump out thousands of different things, but I'm of a great belief that if it's not something you want, there's no point. I've got to I need to put a pop filter back on this mic. I seem to be blowing out plosives left, right, and center at the moment. But I need to actually put stuff out for you guys. That's how I feel happy, rather than just putting out random stuff that you may or may not want. So please have a think about it. Leave comments. Go to my Facebook page. Leave comments. Somebody mentioned ghost stories. That's a really good idea. I'm actually Kat, who was on. I'm almost tempted to start doing a kind of ghost series, not like what she does, because I would never try and do that. But I'm just thinking from my experiences back in Edinburgh and stuff like that, do a kind of a weekly or every second week kind of show about various locations. And hello.
Hello.
Hello. Who's this?
It's Cassie.
Cassie! Now, I don't know if people can now hear you on the show, though, on my stream.
Yeah, they can hear you. I have it on the YouTube beside me as well.
And can they hear you, though?
I can hear me.
Wow. Okay. This worked. I am so excited. Cassie, you are an absolute diamond, because I just wanted that tested to see. So, folks, fantastic. People can now phone in and ask me questions or give me verbal abuse if you know my number, which eventually I'll put out. Cassie, I'm going to let you go and thank you. I don't want to do anything tonight. I just wanted it tested, and you're amazing. How are you, by the way?
I figured. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. How's everything down in Lethbridge? No. Yes, Lethbridge. I'm going the right way. Hey, I know this stuff. Are you guys all safe and happy and keeping well?
We're safe and we're battling our usual mental illnesses, which is not uncommon for our group.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, reenactors, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of get togethers on Discord now, as well as a couple Zoom meetings for the Medieval Club.
Good, good. And that's the Lethbridge Medieval
Lethbridge
Society?
Medieval Club. Yep.
Yes. Yep. So if anyone's down in Lethbridge looking to play with swords, learn some amazing historical things, crafts, skills from various time periods, fight in armor once you get to that level and train properly, need to look at Lethbridge Medieval Club. These guys are wonderful. I've been to many events with them, and Cassie is like my second. I'm going to say this. It sounds weird. She's like my second wife at events
It's
because
okay. I'm Chris's fourth wife.
you're Chris's fourth wife. Because basically Cassie looks after me if Krista's not there. So it's always good fun. Cassie, thank you, darling, for letting me test this
Thanks.
system. You're amazing, and I'll speak to you soon.
Have a good one. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. That makes me so happy, folks. And now I noticed there's a lot of pop there, so I need to check out how to do that. But that just made me really happy, incredibly happy. That particularly because it's Cassie and she is just lovely. So, folks, I'm going to wrap this up because I have just been rambling. How do I come on to do a 10-minute thing and nearly 40 minutes later I'm still rambling? Did I get to my point? This is the question. Did I actually get to where I wanted to go? Tell us the best medieval stay-at-home story from isolation. The medieval stay-at-home story. Do you know, here's the truth, guys. I've actually stepped away from a lot of the reenactment stuff. I wasn't in the medieval stuff. I did that back in Scotland. I was part of a group called Clan Ranald, very briefly, and Combat International, who did all the combat training stuff. So I got trained. Best way to explain them. If you've seen Gladiator and you see the big lad at the front, the beginning, the big guy with the head in his hand going, hurdy-burdy-gurdy-burdy. That's a gentleman called Charles Allen Chick. And he's the guy that runs Combat International. He's a friend with Russell Crowe now. And basically, through his hard work and determination, he has built this empire of highly trained TV extras and movie extras. So every movie like the new Robin Hood with Russell Crowe and Outlander and there's more. They were originally even in Braveheart. But like all the kind of combat fighting hairy guys that you see or the extras in a lot of these shows, that's Combat International. And I used to train with them. So at one point I was fairly efficient in military medieval combat, and that changed quickly. But the downside is I never got into any of the movie sets because one, my schedule, and two, there's a lot of work, a lot of training to get to that level. And to be honest, I'm lazy. So, no, but I loved it. It was great, but I never got to that level. So I kind of stepped, but recently I've been stepping away from the reenactment. I'm a member, or was a member. I'm a member. I'm on sabbatical this year, to be honest. I think everyone is, though, of a Viking society in Canada called the Vikings Vinland. And they do the kind of, it's more Dark Age into medieval. They do, basically Viking combat, living history. But to be honest, I just find it sometimes a bit too much. And the problem is I'd be going in and most of the time I'm booked to do these events as a storyteller. So I wouldn't even be doing the like reenactment. I'd be dressed up, but I effectively would be just me telling stories in a costume. So I kind of stepped away from it, but I love meeting all the guys. I work with a lot of these societies. The Lethbridge Society are fantastic. We always, when we're at events, it's always lovely hanging out with them. There is Stalk, the Society of Tilt and Lance, in just outside Calgary. They are probably a Calgary group, and that's the Jousters. So that's the horseback and the jousters and the combat guys. There is the Wardens of the Red Tower. There is, oh my goodness, there's so many. And Horde at the Hive, Chris. Yeah, that's the one that I do a lot, which sadly was cancelled as well. Oh my goodness, I hate the fact that I've forgotten all these guys because there's so many amazing groups out there in Calgary and all around, and I forgot. So yeah, I've told many, just many tales about these guys, but it's always good fun, and these medieval events are always great. And sadly, they're all cancelled this year. It's a painful time for us all. We're all isolated in our padded cells, watching screens, looking at rambling Scotsmen go on for 42 minutes and 18 seconds or whatever, and wondering what just happened to your last 40 minutes and what sense did this make? And the answer is probably none. But it's a beautiful moment, and hopefully it's a fun moment. And it's just what I do, folks. What have I got here? Yep. Well, I'm not going to do this wasn't a story session. I'm going to basically put together more story sessions, guys. So I will Scottish stories about lore. Yes, I will be doing that. And Kat, if you don't mind, I was thinking of doing some ghosty episode stuff. Not like you're doing, because you're interviewing people and doing this fabulous podcast. If anyone's interested, great. Paranormal podcast. You probably see it in the comments. Paranormal Heart is run by a beautiful lady called Kat Ward, if memory serves. Off the top of my head, I think it's Kat Ward, but it's Kat no matter what. And she does this fabulous podcast, interviewing wonderful people all over the world. And through that, I did an interview with her, and through that, I also got to meet some fabulous guys in America and all that who do all the cryptozoology stuff and all that. And it's fascinating because as a storyteller, I love all that weird and wonderful stuff. It sends tingles through my tiny bones. It does. I love it. Okay, thank you, Kat. That's lovely. I'm glad, because I don't like to be that guy. Okay, folks, I'm gonna get off. Please have a think if there's anything you would like me to do, if there's any educational stuff, teaching stuff, any story shows that you would like. For example, Elaine, I know you're wanting, like you've said, please do a medieval one. I'll try and put together some stories for one of my episodes just for that. I'll do some more Scottish lore stuff. That's pretty much in my wheelhouse anyway. But if there's anything, like not just storytelling, that you are looking for from me, as I say, if you just want me to sit and read the phone book, I get that a lot. I would consider it, as long as I can work out the legal implications. But folks, I'm going to sign off. I want to thank you. I have rambled. This meant to be 10 minutes. I promise you. I actually came on to do 10 to 15 minutes to basically put together something a bit more serious and just say, here's what I'd like to do. Please give me some feedback. And as usual, where are we? Yeah, Chris, cryptids is something I love, and I don't have many stories about them, so it is a field that I am going to have to read up on. I have many a book on things like Sasquatch and that, because I find that a fascinating subject. But the problem is, as a Scotsman, if you've ever heard me do like ghost stories, or if you'd ever seen me do a ghost tour, I as a Scotsman, we're a wee bit skeptical. We've got this thing that we believe in stuff, but we also need it to punch us in the face before we'll truly acknowledge it. And I've always said that about the ghosts, doing the ghost tours in Edinburgh. I saw weird stuff. I saw people faint, collapse. I saw shadows. I saw movement. I heard stuff. I walked out with scratches myself. I've seen and experienced stuff, but there's that Scotsman side of me that says, until it actually punches me in the face, I cannot fully accept it. And it's a wee bit like that with, no, sorry, I'll get back to that no in a minute. It's a wee bit like that with all the crypto stuff. I love the idea of it, because as a storyteller, it's magic. I can't do my job if I don't have this childlike belief in so many weird and wonderful things. But the kind of grown up Scotsman side of me goes, but I need it to punch me in the face. Admittedly, I wouldn't really want to be punched by a Sasquatch, having read so many of the reports and seen so many of the accounts, because I kind of feel that might hurt. However, Liam, You swine of a man, may I say to you, French place name pronunciation guide. Okay, explanation is needed here. As a Scottish person, we love the French. We do. It's called the Old Alliance in Scotland. Basically, it was the French and the Scots against the English back in medieval times, basically. And that connection has existed and it still existed today. Scots are welcome in France all the time and the French are welcome in Scotland. But the problem is we adopted the French so much. We loved them. We recreated some of their architecture in Edinburgh. We tried to recreate some of their cooking, and we tried to speak the language. Oh my God, we're crap at speaking French. And there's probably some Scots people that are great at it. But I kid you not, we messed it up so badly. And again, here we go. Gardez-vous, which means something like beware. We turned into Gardez-lou. Right? So gardez-vous, Gardez-lou. And then I started doing a ghost tour in Calgary with Liam. Michael is also a member of the group, or one of the bike riders, should I say, for Rocky Mountain Sidecar. And they they came up with the idea of Creepy Calgary by Sidecar and asked me to basically create the script. But in Calgary, there's a few French names, and I'm rubbish at pronouncing them. So halfway through the tour, when we get to the French, literally all you hear is all the guys laughing through the headsets because they're in stitches at my pronunciation. And it's become a bit of a running joke now. And this gets better because I found one of my favourite books last night and it's on public domain, The Count of Monte Cristo. I love that book. It's one of my favourites. I could just read it. I've started reading it again. And I thought to myself, oh, this would be great. I could do this as one of my reading sessions. It'd be a really long one. And then, of course, I realised how much French words are used throughout it and how many place names. And I just thought, no, how can I take this beautiful classic piece of literature and, what time are we on? Bastardize it with my awful French attempts at words. So I've realised that's not going to work. But Liam, I will wreak vengeance upon you for that. And if anyone ever wants to hear me try and pronounce French things, I may just need to do a French pronunciation. Can't even pronounce pronunciation show. Because to be honest, it's one that I will warn you not to have a cup of tea or be drinking anything, because the chances are you'll either be laughing or your jaws will just be wide open at how bad I am at saying French words. And it is, yeah, you're right, Kat. It's the Scottish accent. We are growly. We do rs and things like that really well. While the French is more, I would say, it's. I was going to say something really rude there. Had to stop myself. The proper French is can be quite a romantic and eloquent language when, depending on the regions. The stuff I heard somewhere at some point in the past, while potentially being in this country, being sent over a news channel, frankly sent shivers down even my spine. I was mighty confused by it, but we won't go there, folks, because that would be rude and insulting part of my adopted country. Okay, I need to get off. I need to let you guys have a nice night. I see people have actually stuck with me. Thank you, folks, for sticking with me for yet another nonsensical 50 minutes of your life. I just want to point out, that's 50 minutes you're not getting back that you've spent potentially watching and listening to me talk about virtually nothing of any sense, which is, as most people like Liam and Mike and all those guys will say, what I do when we go into a bar or when we get together for a meeting. Literally, it's kind of like they need to filter out the nonsense and the randomness. But anyway, folks, I'm going to go. It's been a pleasure as always. Please, any comments? Has it been 50 minutes? Yes, it has. Wow, thanks, Kat. That's just made me feel really nice that you didn't even notice 50 minutes have gone by. If you have any suggestions, or not suggestions, or any ideas of things you'd like me to do, that's the reality of it. Please drop me a line, post. Cassie, thank you for phoning. That was a divine moment. I'm so happy, and I hope that all sounded okay to you guys. I'll listen back to it in the replay, I think is the word I'm looking for. Great content collection. Right, yes. Okay. Well wasted. Oh yes. Thank you, Cassie. Sorry, I took that the wrong way. In Scotland, well wasted could mean you're absolutely drunk. Like you're on the floor drooling. You're wasted. But no, I understood. I understood that, yes. Okay, guys, thank you very much. So please, great content collection. Yes, I will be trying to just create as much as possible. So yeah, I'm thinking of doing things like how to tell a good story, doing some storytelling kind of how-tos and all that, because yeah, I might be random at times, but when it comes to actually educating people on what I do professionally, I can actually be. I could even put on a shirt and a tie if you want, because I can actually be quite professional and not this erratically delightful mess. But folks, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Much love to you all. Cassie, thank you again. Kat, it's been a pleasure seeing you on as well. Elaine, Michael, Liam. I've missed someone. Chris, of course, the wonderful Chris who comes on and catches me every so often. Chelsea, Elizabeth. Thank you, guys. You are all amazing. If I've missed anyone there, please forgive me because I'm having to scroll back through quite a lot. Cindy, I just like to thank everyone just for joining me, because you know what, guys? It's really nice that you take the time to hang out with me in these weird moments of my life. Thank you. I will probably see you in a few days once I've got my schedule done. It's going to be quite hectic. It's going to be quite fun. And there's more projects that I'm doing in between. Thank you. Much love. Have a lovely night, folks. Enjoy your wine, your gin and tonics, your whiskies, your old faithfuls, your Becks, your craft brew beers from Canada, your tequilas, your whiskies, your coffees, your teas, your hot chocolates, your Bovrils, your hot milks, your Ovaltines. But pretty much just enjoy whatever you're drinking and eating. And I will speak to you all very soon. Catch you soon, guys.